We're here at AirVenture Oshkosh, and we've come to a booth that holds an airplane called the REMOS, which most of our viewers know, but we've kind of had a little absence for a while, so we wanted to fill in some gaps here. We're talking with Christian Mayunka of REMOS in Germany, and Greg Thomas of Light Sport West in Sacramento, California, where he's operating a flight school, and you're going to do some work for REMOS here.
Yes, absolutely, sir.
First, let's talk to Christian and tell us a little bit about where the company's been the last couple of years. What's been going on?
Well, we have not really been absent completely from the market. We have been going through some, let's say, internal struggles. And
there's some change of top management, I know.
Yeah, we had some top management changes twice. So
that's settled down now?
It's been settled down, and everything is covering up right now.
And what is your current position with the company, Christian?
Well, I've been always the head of design in this company, and now I'm calling myself CTO.
CTO, okay.
Sounds good. So I'm leading all the technical stuff in the company, where our CEO was called Michael Bauer.
Michael Bauer, okay. He's the new business manager, let's say?
He's a business manager. He leads all the things regarding commercial things.
Okay.
He is the representative of our major investor as well.
Okay.
So it's a great team working with.
And you're still at Pasewalk?
Yes, we are reunited at Pasewalk. You might have heard that our former CEO opened another office in the former capital of Germany called Bonn.
Yes.
Which is in western Germany, and Pasewalk is in the northern east. But we found out quite quickly that it does not come out quite well for such a small company as we are to have it divided. So we reunited that in spring. And yeah, now we're ramping up production.
So you're building airplanes and you're selling airplanes today. Excellent. Okay, great. Well, let's shift over to Greg Thomas just for a moment. What's going to be, well, why don't you tell us what Greg is going to do for you, and then we'll go ask Greg about that.
Greg is with the REMOS family now for a year. He's a dealer in California, in Sacramento. And we decided to step away from our classical organization. You might have known that we had a subsidiary in Rogers in Arkansas.
Right.
This has been closed, and all the spare parts, they are now coming through Greg. I'm very proud of him to have him with us in the family. He will hold all the, let's say, most wanted spare parts, so that these are available immediately without having shipped it through Rogers or directly from Germany. So we come down with shipping costs tremendously.
This is an important part of the ASTM program called Continued Airworthiness Safety Monitoring, or Operational Safety Monitoring. And the insurance companies, for one, if not the FAA, are very interested to know that parts are here.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, it's very difficult to obtain insurance if they can't figure out how they're going to repair a damaged airplane. We don't want that to happen. Nobody does, but that's why you buy insurance. So they need their assurance as well. So that'll be very helpful. In addition to handling spare parts for REMOS, you have a flight school and you're quite active. Tell us a little more about it.
We have 3 REMOS aircraft that we're training in. The report we just did from this last month, each one of them flew about 70 hours.
Wow. Good number.
We do light sport.
On all 3?
On all 3 on
Excellent.
average. Yep. We try not to distinguish between them. We just, however the student schedule and however it works out.
He tries to make them the same. You try to fly them the same.
We try to fly them the same.
Sounds good.
And so we do light sport, we do private pilot, we'll even do some limited instrument in it for a student who's trained in the REMOS, so they don't have to adjust. They can learn procedures first, and then we'll switch them to a plane and go through clouds. But we've been very successful at it. We have a very large draw, like almost a 50-mile draw. We have people from all directions.
Yeah, you're in a major metro area there.
Absolutely.
So, and not far from San Francisco.
And we also have an Part 145 Air Repair Stations, our sister company, which we own. And so we have several fantastic mechanics who now do 100 hours and annuals in the REMOS in about a day and a half. We get a lot of calls from all over the country, so we've got probably 2 of the better experts in the country on REMOS, and that's what we've offered to Christian. Is we're happy to share that. So the REMOS 800 number now gets answered. Well, it gets answered by us, and so you have access to our parts, you have access to our expertise with the flight school, and you have access to our knowledge about how to operate a REMOS in the best way possible.
Well, that's good, because the company had a pretty good success there for a while, selling quite a few airplanes that are still operating all over the country. I go to airports with some frequency and see a REMOS operating, and now I'm just a little more happy for those guys because I know they've got a place right here in America they can go.
Absolutely.
We all respect German stuff in various ways, product, service, other things, but it's a long way. So it's good to have it be right here in the USA.
Always said that time gap in between. I mean, between Oshkosh and Germany, it's 7 hours, and San
Yeah, it's
Francisco
quite a
takes
bit of time.
9
And you got
hours.
that funny money over there, too.
That's
so.
right.
Yeah, we call it Euro.
We like the Euro here.
And we're also, at least in California, we're building up 2 or 3 of the most newest REMOSs are in the Sacramento Valley. We just sold one to a rice farmer who flies with the doors off. He does grass field landings.
Beautiful.
Now his neighbors have put in a little grass field so he can go visit them. And I get a call from about every other week. Oh, I went and visited my 3 rice farms. I'm having a blast and loving it.
Excellent.
Another one of our newest REMOS is just over in Mill Valley, and he's one of our proudest supporters. He goes, talks to the EAA chapters on a regular basis, has a PowerPoint. So it's really nice to be growing the family in California and other places, because that's just how the word about light sport, about REMOS.
Yeah, it's the best way to get the word out,
aviation
no
gets out.
question.
It's through the
Advertising
elders
is great, and air
Absolutely.
shows are great. We got to do those too, but
Right.
nothing like word of mouth from a guy that's
Absolutely, it's
actually
actually
flying.
flying it and operating it.
So the current state of the art of the airplane is still the GX.
It's the model
The
designator
NXT?
is GX, and the avionics suite is called NXS.
NXS.
NXS, yeah.
Okay. Following the NXT, is it?
The NXT is not available on the US market,
Ah, okay.
but the little sister of the NXS is called the E-Lite, which is
Okay.
some kind of entry model, which is built for those guys who are flying recreational only
Okay.
in daytime.
Simpler
It's-
instrumentation and so forth.
it still has a glass cockpit in there,
Yeah.
but it comes just with a very basic glass cockpit. It's a Dyna D180.
Okay.
No autopilot, whether this NXS, well, you can have it equipped like a Boeing, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Anything you want. And that's great. There's a lot of people that are selling, let's say, their 182 Cessna or their Bonanza or something and moving to sport pilot for whatever reason, some medical, some other. A lot of reasons to buy a light sport aircraft, but those that do, they want to load it up with the same thing that was in their
Yep.
Bonanza. In fact, they can go beyond what was in their Bonanza.
Right. And we find at our flight school, somehow we got a knack for training 16, 17-year-old girls. So we have a 13-year-old girl training with us, 3 16-year-old girls, 2 17-year-old girls. And we find it appeals both to the older gentlemen. The last 2 guys we sold airplanes to sold their 182s to buy this.
Is that right?
But the younger generation, they come look at the glass cockpit, the beautiful airplane. They're like, this is going to be the airplane I'm going to be flying for the whole rest of my life. Glass cockpit, this is the one I want to fly in. So I
Really?
found the light sport across the board. We're, from 13-year-olds up to I fly with an 87-year-old gentleman about every other week who just wants to keep flying. And we literally appeal to that whole generation.
That's a
Anywhere
pretty
in
good
between.
span, all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
You had a question?
How is this airplane going to be available to the market? Are you selling through a dealer network, or are you selling direct from the factory outlet? How is it available right now?
There are a lot of ways to obtain a REMOS. The classical way is going through a dealership. So if a prospect shows up at Greg, he's proud and willingly to present the aircraft, of course. Sometimes the dealer is not available immediately, so you might go through an agent. An agent is somebody who owns an aircraft, not an aircraft but a REMOS, or has access to it, and he can mediate those contacts. And of course, if you're located in a country where there is no representative of REMOS at all, you go through REMOS directly in Germany.
Okay, okay.
But here on the US market, it's the dealership and it's the agents.
Very good. Well, we've asked you a bunch of questions. There's always more that people want to ask.
Yep.
We'll put it up on the screen so you don't have to spell it, but give us a web address for both REMOS and for your enterprise. Start with you,
Yeah,
Christian.
it's REMOS is quite easy. It's www.remos.com.
Okay, we'll put that up on the screen for everybody.
And
Greg?
we're www.lightsportwest.com.
That's Sport West. Pretty easy as well.
Absolutely.
I've got lots of information, other videos, flight reports, and more on bydanjohnson.com or bydanjohnson.com. Thanks a lot for joining us here at AirVenture Oshkosh.